Welcome to today's video, Ephesians 3 verse 20 explained. Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. This verse from Paul's letter to the Ephesians offers a powerful truth about God's ability and generosity. When Paul says that God is able to do exceeding abundantly, he emphasizes that God's power and willingness to help go far beyond our human limitations and expectations. God does not just meet our needs, He goes beyond, surpassing what we can even imagine. Paul reminds us that we are dealing with a God who is infinitely capable, whose resources and love are limitless. The phrase exceeding abundantly implies more than we can calculate. It suggests an overflow of blessings, an abundance that is beyond any human capacity or thought. Paul then adds above all that we ask or think. This means that even our greatest requests and most daring thoughts cannot reach the fullness of what God can accomplish. Sometimes we might feel hesitant to ask for help, or we may limit our prayers based on what we believe is possible. But Paul is encouraging us here to trust in God's power that surpasses our limitations. God is not bound by human restrictions. He operates on a completely different level. His wisdom, His strength, and His grace know no boundaries. Therefore, when we bring our needs to Him in prayer, we can do so with confidence, knowing He is more than able to meet them in ways we may not even expect. The next part of the verse says, according to the power that worketh in us. Here, Paul shifts the focus from God's power in the heavens to how His power operates in our lives. When we put our faith in God and receive His Spirit, His power begins to work within us. This is not just a distant, theoretical force. It is an active presence within us, transforming us, guiding us, and helping us grow. The power of God that created the universe, that raised Jesus from the dead, is at work within each believer. It helps us overcome obstacles, it empowers us to love others deeply, and it equips us to live a life that glorifies God. This is the same power that allows us to be agents of God's kingdom here on earth. Through this verse, Paul is teaching us that we are not limited by our own human frailties when we have the power of God working within us. His strength becomes our strength, His wisdom becomes our guide, and His peace fills our hearts. As we rely on Him, His power enables us to accomplish things we could never achieve on our own. This power also gives us hope, reminding us that no situation is too difficult, no dream too big, and no prayer too bold for the God we serve. This verse calls us to a life of faith and expectation. God invites us to trust in His power, not in a passive or reluctant way, but with a boldness that knows He is able. Ephesians 3 verse 20 encourages us to pray big prayers, to dream big dreams, and to expect God to work in ways that surpass our understanding. It tells us that God is not just able to help, He is more than willing to do so abundantly, working within us to fulfill His purposes. In our lives, we often face challenges and situations that seem insurmountable. But as we meditate on this verse, we are reminded that we serve a God who is mighty, whose power exceeds all, and who works tirelessly within us. May we live with an awareness of His presence and power, trusting Him to lead us and knowing that His plans for us are far greater than we could ever envision. Thank you for joining today's video on Ephesians 3 verse 20. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment with your thoughts. May God's abundant power continue to work in your life, blessing you and guiding you in all things.